In the summer of 1789, on the fringes of British-ruled India, a solitary station lay half forgotten. The rails crept out from dense jungle, the platform awnings sagged under creeping moss, and the humid monsoon air pressed like a breath. At dusk, Captain William Greaves of the East India Company's Rail Services Division arrived, lantern in hand, accompanied by his young Indian assistant, Suresh. Their task? Ready the station known as High Mist Junction for an inspection train, though the station itself seemed unready for anything at all. Greaves surveyed the red brick building, the damp walls mottled with time. Suresh stood by the siding that ended abruptly in darkness.
He murmured of stories, rails that groaned though no engine passed, footsteps on the siding though no labourer remained.
Greaves dismissed such talk until they entered the signal hut. Inside the elevated wooden signal hut, they found something unexpected. On the table lay a small cracked leather shoe, child size. On the floor, chalk dust formed a perfect circle. The windows were broken, the controls untouched for weeks. The air inside was colder, heavier. As Suresh raised his lantern, they heard a low moan coming from the siding beyond. Greaves frowned, uneasy. The siding rails glinted faintly, though there should have been no motion. Outside, through the shattered glass, the jungle pressed in, dark and alive with secrets. The next afternoon, an inspection train arrived. Lady Charlotte Harrington stepped out of the polished carriage, white muslin gown crisp despite the tropical heat. With her was the governess, Miss Amelia Cross, and their silent bearer, Rajan. The platform, freshly swept, seemed almost too neat among the creeping jungle gloom. Greaves greeted them, nodding stiffly. Suresh lingered near the siding, uneasy. In the distance, a faint whistle, though no engine should blast here. A rust-streaked carriage appeared on the siding, sliding slowly, though no driver, no engine. Suresh stared. The line of the colonial dream already slipped. That night, Greaves awakened to a dream. He found himself standing on the deserted platform at high mist. The lamp flickered. A woman in a white sari, hair wild and soaked with mist, stood at the siding's end. She raised one hand, her voice carried on the humid wind. "Return, return." Morning brought horror. The small leather shoe lay on his desk, though he had placed it on the signal hut threshold the evening before. And it was damp again, as though the night had reclaimed it. The old records told the story. A narrow-gauge spur built to carry labourers to a sugar estate. Many died in floods and disease. The line was abandoned, but the memory endured.
Child's laughter.
Finish what was begun.
At dawn the next day, Greaves announced the station's closure. The siding would be shuttered, a memorial erected for those who laboured and died. Lady Charlotte and Miss Amelia arrived for the final inspection. The small leather shoe was placed in a glass case. Flowers were laid by Lakshmi's tombstone. Decades later, the jungle reclaims the platform. The rails rust. The colonial signboard peels away. But the story remains. Villagers whisper that on misty monsoon nights you can still hear a train whistle at High Mist Junction. In the fog you may glimpse a carriage, a pale woman in a white sari, a child's footstep in the dust, and always the whisper, return. Because some promises, once broken, echo through time, and some journeys never end.